Hello YouTube. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and we're going to start part 3 of the guitar build. We've come up with a name for it, and I think it's appropriate. We will now be calling this the Half-Breed, um, simply because it's just a bunch of different parts put together to build a guitar, a working, nice looking guitar. So we'll pan down here and let you see what's going on. But first, I wanted to thank everybody for watching my channel and thank all my subscribers. I don't think I'd have the drive without you. So I appreciate all the comments, and I'm going to keep trucking on here and see if we can't start building guitars and cases and fixing guitars and stuff like that. Got a lot of creativity in it, and I'm going to make this a nice looking guitar. So I'm going to pan down here and let you guys see what's going on. So now we've got the pick guard made, and basically I just tried to transfer this design over here to kind of make it look like a tulip or something like that. And we're going to go ahead and use this pick guard. I've got a new one of these that I just ordered, and it came today, and there's a story behind that thing I bought. I had it in my head that when I got a box that said Amazon, that these people were actually buying from Amazon but not actually touching the product. So when I seen this come and it was in an Amazon box, I thought that what they did was took my money, then paid less for it at Amazon and had it directly shipped to me. Although that can happen, and people probably do that, but not all of them do that. So Crafted explained it to me, and it kind of makes sense now. So I had already voiced my opinion on the Amazon box that I had gotten, thinking what I was thinking, and he refunded me my money and told me to keep the product, and it made me feel bad. So I told him that I would mention this because I really feel bad about how it happened, and I told him he shouldn't have refunded me the money. I mean, he jumped the gun on me. It was so quick. Oh no. Oh no. This is going to be too small. Well, I wonder if the screws out of this one will fit in this one. And they're Allen head too. But anyway, I told him I'd mention it on my YouTube channel, that, you know, it wasn't his fault. Clearly I jumped the gun, but he refunded me the money, and I told him he shouldn't have done that. But I understand now what had happened. But he said, no worries, don't feel bad, blah blah blah, but that don't mean I don't. But anyway, now we got a new problem we got to deal with. So I'm hoping that the screws out of this will fit this, because these here are missing. One there, and one there is missing. So if these screws, they look like they're the same size, so hopefully they're standard. And I'll just take the Allen head ones out and put in here, and well, you know what, thing and put on there. Yep. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all these off and put it on this plate since it's bigger. And because I've already cut my pick guard and I don't want to cut it anymore. So, or I mean, I can't add. I can cut, but I can't add. So if I put this one into place, I'm going to have to hide 4 more holes. And I'm not going to do that. So we're going to take this one, clean it up, take all these off, put them on here, and that'll take care of that problem. Alright, so now what we've got happening here now is this switch right here needs to go somewhere else because I have enough room here for, and I utilized one of the holes that was in the pick guard, and we're going to put the volume here. We're going to put a tone here in this hole, and we're going to put a tone in this hole, and then we're going to put the headphone jack here. So we're going to have the volume and 2 tones right here, headphone jack here for hooking up your cord. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to cut a slit in here and route out the back side of it big enough to fit this switch. So once I've got the switch hole cut and everything works, then when I go to wire this thing, basically all I need to do is just get new wire, which I already have, because I collect wire from everything I get. If I tear it apart and it's got wire in it, I roll it up and put it away. So I got plenty of wire. So I'm just going to desolder each wire individually, one at a time, and move it to the switch once we get it over here. The only downfall to doing this is I'll have to route the wires through the hole here that I'm going to have to drill going through here into this section so I can run the wires through, and they're going to have to go in underneath the pickup on the bottom of the, you'll have to run across here and down underneath here and into this hole. I plan to cut this out right in here big enough for all the wires to go through. So I was trying to do this without taking any of this wiring loose, so I'm going to have to get a good diagram drawn for this so I can put the wiring knobs in their place. And back to the downfall. The downfall is you can't just unbolt your pickup or pick guard and take everything out of it. Basically everything's going to be wired after I get everything in here, so it's kind of going to be an aggravation, but it's an aggravation that I'm willing to deal with. So the next order of business is I've got to measure how big a hole I need to put in the back. Now, yesterday I did part 2 or part 3. So this one here actually has to be part 3 because I milled all this out yesterday on the milling machine, on the Grizzly mill. And when I went to go in and edit the video, all of it was missing except for the last part of it where I was taking it off the mill. So we get a second chance to show milling on paper. That's what this is, paper. I've never in my life seen a frickin' guitar made out of pressed paper. So we get to show the milling process for the switch, and then we got to drill the holes here. So stay tuned. I'm going to draw everything up first, then we'll meet at the mill. So by the time we get to the mill, I'll have everything measured how I want it. And then we'll mill. Alright guys, we've got it in the mill, and we're going to route out this plate, or this hole, and basically we need to set our zero. So I don't know how we're going to do that. I know how we'll do that. Alright, we're going to drop this down. And I can't wait to get this thing. That handle up here to have to turn this is aggravating. And it gets stuck. If I had anything bad to say about this Grizzly mill, that would be it. That is stupid to put a handle that far back. Alright, now we're going to set where we want this thing to rest. Alright, now we've got it over here and indicated. Now basically what I'm going to do, I want to leave the thickness of this, which is about 3/16. I can always take out, but I can't add more. So basically I'm just going to set this down here. And sorry about the noise behind me. I got the fan on. For some reason my air conditioner went rogue on me. So it's pretty much no good. Alright, we're going to zero that. So now we got a 0. Alright. So now we're going to come in here, and I've straightened this, and the way I did that is I took my contractor's speed square and set that and squared it off to this rail, or this slide back here on the back, because we know it's square. So the hole's going to be square except for the round section, which will probably have to be remilled afterwards depending on how sharp the corners are. I want the corners to be a little sharper than what I've got in there. So now we're going to set our line, and basically we're just going to turn that to that point right there, and then we're going to bring it down. And right there is this line. Alright, now we're going to turn this, and then we're going to take that in until that corner meets up with that line again. So there we go. Now, this is the way I done it yesterday. I milled it in 3 sections. I did first section about, I don't know, 3/8. So now we get to go ahead and start milling. Alright guys, we've got the pocket routed out, and now the next step is to route out where the switch lever is going to go. So we're getting ready to get one heck of a storm, so I'm probably going to have to go out and put my awning in. But now we've got to route this out for the slot, or for the slot. So I'll meet you at the bench. Alright, now that we've got the milling done, I went ahead and milled this out. It's 1/8 inch wide, and that's going to be for this switch right here, and it will go up in there just like that, and it'll screw in and work pretty good. That way when somebody's fingering, they can just reach up there and hit it, you know. So that's a whole lot better than putting it down in here, because if somebody wants to strum and they got a long strum, they'll be hitting it every time. So this would be the best place for it. So anyway, so we're pretty close to having everything completed here as far as how we're going to do this, except for the wire, the hole that goes through here. I'm probably just going to make that one bigger. So now we got to drill the hole right here because we want it to be a little bit bigger. Now if I can just find a drill bit long enough that I ain't hitting the side of this when I go to do it. Right now would be a good time for a side angle drill with a really short bit. So we're going to go ahead and find the bit and what we're going to use to try to waller that out, and we'll be back. Alright, now guys, what we need to do is we got this hole here drilled out, and I used my air drill, side angle drill, and used one of my stubbies. But we drilled that out. And now what we got to do is make a hole going from the center of this over to this. So we're just going to drill a hole from here to here. So to make sure we're guided in the right place, we're just going to draw some arc here about halfway in the middle, and we know we want to go to this corner. So we're just going to draw a line to that corner. Alright, that's just to give us a reference point as to how far to go in. So now we're going to get us a drill bit, and we're going to drill that out. We're going to take and use the side angle because it should fit in there a little straighter. Yeah, I think we can do that. We got plenty of room, might as well take advantage of it. That way we can get in the center. I think it's about time for a new chuck on this thing. And there we have a hole. Now, as you can see down in there, it's right there at the very bottom of that. If I would have been any more of an angle, I would have been into the face of the guitar. So you got to be careful of that. That's a prime example of what I was talking about. I was aiming for right here in the center, and it didn't make it that far. So I got lucky that time. So now we've got a hole for the switch wires to go through. So now we're done with that line. We're almost ready to start working on the body. So, but for now, I want to try to make this piece to go in here. So these two, well, this one here, I think I'm gonna reuse that one. I might glue a piece of something solid in here, because if you see, it's bowed, and I'm probably going to go ahead and just put something solid in there, like a thin piece of wood or something, to keep that from flexing, so that it ain't sticking up right there. You know, as you can see, thing's sticking up. Over here it's not. It's just sticking up right there. So we want to get that down to where we can do that. So we'll reuse that, and then I'm going to use this plastic, probably this plastic right here, to make that plate. And I'm going to do that off camera. That's just as plain as making a square and Dremel tooling it until using a Dremel tool to get it to the right shape. So it's basically a square with a filed round edges. So this will probably go ahead and end part 3 of the half-breed guitar build. So I don't even know if I said that right. That didn't even sound right. So you guys have a good one. Later.